All right, we are on air. It is Thursday, September 27th, and this is a meeting to check in on active development tasks for Backdrop CMS. Before we get into tasks, I want to thank the maintainers and porters and creators of several new projects for Backdrop. Since our last meeting, there have been 3 new modules, Panelum, I don't know how to pronounce that, Panelum or Panelum, Prepopulate, and Entity Plus. So thanks to people who are continuing to develop fancy new things for Backdrop. I would be curious about Entity Plus, if any of that stuff should be in Backdrop Core instead of in Contrib. They might be things that were in the Entity API from Drupal 7 that are missing from Backdrop Core. So I would love to review that and see if that isn't stuff we should have, we should not require a Contrib module for. Okay, so we covered pretty extensively the things that we're working on as far as Backdrop's websites in the last meeting, which was the design meeting. So if anyone's interested in what's going on with those, feel free to watch the video from an hour ago to see what's going on there. And we will just roll right into updates for Backdrop itself. So I'll turn that over to Neat.
All right, I need to unmute. Okay, so for Backdrop 111, which came out September 15th, we haven't had any substantial, like really critical bug reports come in about 111 specifically. We've had one issue that we bumped from 111.0 that was adding predefined color schemes for basis, which is issue 3209. And that issue is still, I think there's a pull request now, but I would like to get some design eyes on the color schemes that have been assembled to kind of, make sure that the options that we're providing people are actually aesthetically pleasing. It's one thing, I mean, we could just shove in some predefined color schemes, but we really kind of want them to look good, right? So it's also, I mean, it wouldn't be terrible. We did change the color schemes that Bartik shipped with at one point because they seemed a little bit dated, and we revised them somewhere back in like Backdrop 1.4 or something like that. So we could actually revise the color schemes later, but I think it would be preferable to just have nice color schemes in the initial implementation. So we're still looking for a design eye on that one. Did you mention that one during the design meeting? Okay. So let's see, and we have one other issue in 111 that has popped up regarding the color preview doesn't seem to function correctly in Safari, and that issue is 3295. But those are the only 2 issues that we've had reported specifically about 1.11, and it's been nearly 2 weeks, and our process for normally releasing the first bug fix release is 2 weeks after the initial release of a minor. But since we haven't had any substantial reports, we'll probably forego making another bug fix release right away, because there actually hasn't even been a single merge into 1.11's branch since the release. And we haven't updated the Pantheon upstream because we normally wait for the first bug fix release, but we're going to go ahead and push the Pantheon upstream and all of the other upstreams to 111 because we haven't had any substantial reports. So 111.1 will probably still come out sometime in the near future, but we're just not going to wait on updating all of our upstreams before then. So let's see, 1.12. 1.12 will be the next Backdrop release that comes out January 15th, 2019. And we've got some issues, all of which have actually been bumped basically from the previous release that stand good chances of seeing some really substantial movement this release. The first one is a large meta issue for automatic updates, which is issue 2018. We have the ability to do core updates currently, and Jeff has been doing some work to make that process of having them be manual turning into an automatic process in issue 414, which is one of the sub-issues Jeff, do you want to talk about how that's coming along and what you've been doing there? Okay, no. So Jeff's in a library where you can't talk loudly. So, so the status of that one is that we have a new pull request that's been updated. It does still need some work, but Jeff has been working on it. It adds a user interface for applying core updates. Looks like right now it's as simple as a checkbox. Which is great. I know that there's been some recent discussion about some alternative methods. I think Mike came back into the issue queue and said I just couldn't stay away from the automatic updates this year and posted some comments there on his solution for doing automatic updates, which involves a separate project called Curator that he's been working on for the past several months. And it does look interesting. I think Jeff, you're in the right mindset, though. Basically, saying we have something that we think should work, and we'll probably continue doing that mechanism for the time being. And so I think we'll continue heading the direction we are already going. But it is nice that we could potentially have other options, or maybe people could use that other could use Curator instead of the backdrop updates, as an alternative. We'll see. It is worth doing some more investigation there, but I don't think that we should hold up pursuing the direction that we're already going in. Let's see. Also, in the realm of core updates, we'd like to, in 1.11 at some point, turn on, or sorry, 1.12, because it would be a new feature, turn on the I see. Turn on the option to do core updates in the UI. I see what you're doing, but 4.14 encompasses both. It encompasses turning on the UI option and turning on the automatic option. Is that right, Jeff? Okay. Okay, so we may end up lumping in issue 3271 into 4.14 because 4.14 does both issues at the same time. We'll see. Let's see. Also, in the realm of automatic updates, we have issue 1992, which is an issue that improves our security and reliability of packages that are in transit between two different locations. It adds package signing to downloads that originate from backdropcms.org. And that one is still in progress. It has a lot of moving pieces. We haven't seen any real activity on that one in a month or two, so I won't recap it here. Let's see. Other issues. Tags for modules, issue number 37, which I'm pretty sure is the oldest issue that we have open right now. Jen, has this one been revisited? It has. No, it hasn't.
Sorry, which one?
37, the tags for modules.
So that is currently, it has been there's a new pull request on there, but we need to test it again and make sure it's working as expected.
Okay, so it needs review then, it looks like. That's great.
Feedback. So all it does now is add, under each module, it adds a list of tags in the module description, and then the search field should also search that tags list. So it doesn't, there shouldn't be any new elements on the page, but there should be new information in the info files.
Great. Okay, let's see. Other issues. Issue 1005 is rather exciting. That adds options element into core. And this has been seeing a lot of traction in the past week or two. And it takes the options element module and replaces the big text field on creating select lists and checkboxes from radio buttons from being, enter key pipe string for your options with a nicer UI that doesn't require you to enter in a specialized syntax. This one has been is currently in progress of making it less like a contrib module. It previously was form altering all of the forms in core, and instead of form altering the forms, there's work going on right now to integrate those changes directly into the forms rather than doing any altering. So that one is coming along really pretty nicely. I left some comments in a code review on that just earlier today. It probably needs some slight UI updates. It looks pretty good. It's been redone to match the user interface of the rest of core already. But I think some things like the buttons are really, really tiny because it was written like almost a decade ago. Maybe we need some larger buttons these days to be more finger friendly, for example. Let's see. I'm going to take a break there. Does anybody have any comments on that? I saw that we had some unmutes there for a second. No? Okay. All right. Okay. And lastly, of these issues that we have currently pulled out for 1.12 is issue 2632, which is fieldable file types. This makes it so that files have different types of bundles and that you can add fields to the individual files. The status on this one is that it could use some more code review. It looks really, really great, actually. It's mostly a direct port of file entity right out of 777, but it's been updated and reworked to be more core friendly. I think it needs some minor UI work that we inherited some of the issues that file entity had in 777 because it's a direct port. We have some of the same UI issues that that the 777 version had as well. It is a huge amount of code, so I am a little nervous about it, but I've read through it multiple times over the past couple of months, and it does just look really solid, being based on a working port from 777. So that's it for the items that have got pulled out for 1.12. We are still at a point in time where we can add new items into the 1.12 release if there's areas that people have a particular interest in, or anything that's we think could be highly important to keep up with the changing world of the web. So that's all I've got for the 1.12 update. Yeah. Anything else from you guys?
I was just checking out the colors issue about for basis, and I think some of our palettes might not be accessible. So I don't know if anyone has a good color contrast accessibility checking tool. I think we might have used one for the info message change we made when we added the blue on blue info. We had to check accessibility for that one. So I don't remember what we used, but it would be good to use the same one for these and just run all of the major like link color, text color against main page background. And then if we have something special for like hero block or header, making sure those are accessible too. So yeah, feedback welcome for what to use for that.
Let's see. Jeff, do you want to do? Oh, Jeff's still in the library, so he probably can't do his Backdrop for Good update. Is there anything else? Just we're now in general Q&A. If you guys have anything that you'd like to add to this meeting or to the agenda for next week.
I don't have anything.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, let's call it a meeting then. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you guys for watching online. And we'll catch you guys again next week and online.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming.